Hello, Hyderabad. This is Jouvert Talks, a spanking new podcast series featuring different entrepreneurs across the country who are simply on a mission to make India a great place, solving problems and challenges as part of their business model. My name is Satish Chris Raghu, and I will be your host. Joining me today is a gentleman like no other that you've ever met before. He is a person who has taken many photographs of celebrities and politicians, landscapes, a lot of things that we know and hold very dear to us. I'm introducing you to the president of the Telangana Photography Association, none other than Mr. Arvind Chenji. Arvind,
Hi.
It's
Hi.
a pleasure. We go back in the sense that for those of you who don't know me on a personal level, Arvind is a family friend of mine. I know a little bit about him and his background, and I was actually told before that you were from an academic family. You have family members who are doctors, who are university professors and so on, but you chose to pursue a different path. How did that go down in a conservative Telugu family?
Actually, what you said is right. My father was an engineer with the electricity board. My mother's a gynecologist. The rest of the family are highly educated people, and when I chose to become a photographer, I didn't choose to become a photographer. It kind of happened by chance. I'm very grateful that my parents were very happy with it, and whatever I'm doing, my father used to feel that Arvind is the kind of guy you can, wherever you throw him, he's going to land on his feet. That's a very, very, I think that's the greatest compliment that my father ever gave me.
As you were developing your career, your education in the early years, where in your life did you first realize that photography is that thing that you want to do?
So I started shooting pictures when I was 15 years old.
Right.
There was a camera lying at home which I managed to steal from the cupboard, and I figured out things in the camera by myself, asking people, and started shooting pictures. By the time I was 16 or 17, I think I made my first money from photography. And I never thought it was going to be my profession. I had multiple other career. My biggest career option was to join the army.
Okay.
I got rejected for being medically unfit, and subsequently I wanted to set up a dairy farm. Then I worked as a salesman in my college, but all through those years I was still doing photography and making money out of photography. And suddenly it struck me, look, this is what I've been doing, I enjoy doing it, and let me do it. So I set up my first studio, which was actually a very small hole in the wall kind of an affair in Panjagutta, Hyderabad. From there, yes, it's been a very eventful journey, but since I'm a self-taught photographer, I feel that it took me a little time to overcome a few obstacles, which today I would have probably done better I would have saved time. I wouldn't have done better. I would have saved time by maybe getting some education.
Okay. So, as a self-taught photographer, now that you're probably at this stage of your career, you would know that if I were to study a new course in photography, what those elements usually would be at this stage of your career. Do you think for an entrepreneur who is actually thinking that I don't have the resources to invest in a proper professional certification, do you think that it's worth it to take that risk and go with just your gut instinct and the passion?
So, of late I've noticed that everybody asks me about at this stage in your career, at this age, probably because my beard is grey, but no, I think I'm going to be shooting till the end of my life. And but if you want to take photography seriously, at this point in the evolution of cameras, I still believe you need a good camera. But over the next few years, it might become so simple that your phone might really replace the professional cameras. But I don't see that happening in the next 5 years at least. So if you want to start today, you need to invest money into it. You can't say, look, I don't have a camera, but I want to be a photographer. It doesn't work that way. I don't have a stove, but I want to cook.
During your formative years as a photographer, was there any mentor, any person who was more seasoned, who would have given you some kind of much needed guidance to push through?
So when I started the society of which you said I'm the president now, at Telangana Photographic Society, they were running a basic course on photography, which was a 12-class course.
Okay.
And I'd missed the first two. 30 rupees was the fees for that course. And so that my education from which I made the money was the 30 rupees.
Wow. What an investment.
So the thing is, the people who taught me there have always been in my mind, because the fundamentals is what I picked up from there. But what actually taught me was that I always used to look at pictures, and I would look at a picture and say, how did this photographer shoot this picture? Then I would ask myself, why did he shoot this picture the way he shot this picture? Then I would ask myself, how would I have shot this picture if I were there in that place?
Right.
I think these three questions were my teachers.
Okay.
So I believe that this is the most crucial part of a learning curve.
Right.
And I believe it not just for photography. If you want to pick up any subject for that matter, look at the best, look at what impresses you, try to figure out how it was done, and think of what you would have done in that situation. I think that was my teaching. That was my teacher, and that was my learning. So.
Now, in a business, you kind of have to deal with all kinds of temperaments when it comes to your clients. You have those who are very short-tempered, you have the very patient ones. Just share with us a little bit about the worst possible photo shoot experience you've ever had.
So one time when I don't think any other photographer in Hyderabad would have done it, but I actually walked out on a shoot. So I said, the agency were having something else in their mind, and the art director passed a comment, something like, it was my direct client and I'd done the shoot for them, the picture was very good. And they said, no, if this is the quality of your pictures, it's not my quality, we'd like to reshoot. During the reshoot, they said this. So I said, I'm glad you said that, because I hope your quality will rise someday to meet mine. And I don't think I can work with you either. And I walked out of the place. So that was the worst experience. But there was a time when somebody came and told me, a client came into the office and I was shooting pictures. And then he said in Hindi, Abba, khali shutter dabane ke itne paise kya? So much money for only firing the trigger. I said, lease the camera to you. I have an assistant also. You can shoot if you want. So there are always all kinds of people. Very good people, very bad people. People who, the best part of the whole thing is that people come back to me now.
Yes.
After 20, 30, 40 years of, they say, Arvind, you shot this picture of our family.
Right.
You shot that picture for me. I remember that picture. That's a little leave behind, I feel, that I've in my life done for this.
Quality is quality at the end of the day.
I don't know, I feel that the picture needs to, it has a job to do. I always feel a picture has a job to do, not just a picture. So when I shoot people, believe it or not, but when I pick up the camera, I can tell you everything about that person.
Yes.
I can tell you their backgrounds, I can tell you where they came from. So it's a mind game more than anything else. So I'm good at that.
So in the inverse of that previous question, what is like probably the best experience you had as a photographer where you left that shoot feeling like, wow, we've done something incredible here today?
This has happened many times. I mean, I'm not trying to be boastful about my work, but when I do a good picture, really good picture, I actually sleep so well. I sleep with a smile on my heart.
Right.
So it's happened many times, and sometimes you are on tenterhooks. when you're shooting a very, very important person and you have very little time. If I'm shooting a sports person, he or she will have very little time for me. So the whole thing, the rehearsal happens in my head as to how I'm going to be doing it. So it's very, very exhausting. The shoot will last about 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes, and in that time, by the time I finish that, I might be a little exhausted.
Wow.
So, but when I do a good picture, yes, every time I do a good picture, I come back feeling so good about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Arvind, I mean, when we are talking about life as an entrepreneur in the state of Telangana, in the city of Hyderabad, what is something that you feel is like a high point that maybe the youngsters out there who are wondering, do I choose between working a typical 9-to-5 job? Should I start my own business? I have a skill, I want to monetize it. I mean, do you think that you could give any kind of advice to someone who is trying to explore their own path that way?
I normally wouldn't have, but I would like to say something over here because I don't feel I'm smart enough to give such kind of advice. But what I feel I can ask people is to, there are a lot of youngsters who come to me now and say, look, I want to be a photographer. And the father buys a camera. They've shot a few pictures with a mobile phone or with a camera, and they've shot a pretty sunrise or a beach or a flower or a butterfly or something like that. That's not going to make any money in photography for you.
Correct.
Anybody and everybody is going to be shooting, and that's not even the first step crossed. So my advice is that I tell a lot of photographers that I'd like you to actually take up a job as an exercise.
Yes.
And say, look, I'll be shooting only this at this point of time. And once you do that and come back, then you make up your mind. Don't
Correct.
rush into photography. But whatever you do, I think youngsters are very smart these days. They've seen a lot more than I have at my age. And they probably know a lot of things too. So, and you have to go through your life yourself. It's your
Correct.
job.
Do you ever feel like you had a situation where there was just too much BS in a situation?
Too much bullshit?
Yeah, absolutely. Where you feel, where do you draw the line between trying to meet a difficult client and saying, that's it, I'm not able to do this?
So like I said, I'm probably the only guy who walked out of a shoot, but at the same time, I'm also very vocal about my dislikes of certain things, and people come in. So yes, I'm not very popular in certain circles for that reason, because I've told people like, there was this one particular shoot where I was given a reference picture and I was asked to shoot something exactly like that. And then in that reference picture, there was a lady wearing a sari. They wanted the same color sari. She was wearing a jewelry. They wanted similar jewelry. They wanted a man to look like that. I said, why don't you buy that picture and use it? Why do you want to shoot one more picture, man?
Correct.
So, to me, it's always a joy if I can do two things. One is that I can do my own pictures the way I see it. Two, if you give me a line and ask me to interpret it, I'll interpret it my way and shoot a picture for you that way. I think that makes more sense.
So Arvind, tell our viewers, I mean, what was a real high point in your career that you feel really defined your position as a photographer in the city of Hyderabad?
So those days when we were young and, wanting to work for National Geographic was like a really big thing. So we used to only dream about it, look at the magazine. Old issues we'd look at because the new ones were very expensive for us. And I wanted to work for Nat Geo. So somehow or the other, I managed to make a trip to Washington DC carrying a portfolio around. But before that, I managed to assist through the support of a friend of mine. I assisted a couple of photographers from National Geographic in their shoots in India. Then I understood what it was. And finally, when they gave me the shoot, and with Nat Geo, they give you you shoot the film and you send it off to them. You don't know what's come out of it. and they won't tell you because they have one central processing lab. And then finally I got an email. Email was brand new those days, and the mail said, my editor said that at long last you get to see your beautiful pictures. We used your pictures for the grand finale of the show.
Wow.
So which was like, I think for 2 or 3 days I went around with a grin on my face after that. And then I met some really extraordinary photographers in my life. Chuck O'Rear was a man who shot, when you remember Microsoft Windows, the undulating green landscape with the blue sky.
Yes.
The picture's called Bliss. I worked with Chuck as an assistant for his shoots in India when he was shooting for Nat Geo. Then I met one of the legendary photographers called Bill Allard. He's also shot a lot for Nat Geo. So these are experiences which I can't trade off for anything in my life.
Absolutely. What is some of the projects, or if you want to share with our viewers, what are some of the new projects that you have in the pipeline right now that might probably be enticing and exciting?
So I've been doing a lot of I do the regular stuff when people want their portraits and all done. I do when models want their portfolios done. I do that stuff, but what's really exciting is when I have to go out and capture something. So I'm now trying to work for Lepra Society, where I do pictures for them and I create a campaign for them, wherein I'm hoping that people will look at it and contribute to the fund which helps the lepers in the country. Then sometime back I worked for an organization, a hospice called Sparsh, and that's also an amazing place where so many people are benefiting from it. So if my work can help somebody getting some money and somebody else benefiting on the side, I'll be very happy about it. So these things I find more exciting than the regular bread and butter stuff.
An entrepreneur with a heart of gold. So, I mean, coming to the end of it, we had some discussions about projects that you would be doing in the future, in the near future. You want to give a hint of anything that's coming up very soon?
Yeah, there's something very, very interesting which is going to come up very soon. The interesting thing is that I'm going to be looking for the face of Telangana, the model of Telangana, the face that is going to be launching multiple campaigns in Telangana. So I'm looking for young girls who think they're good looking. I'd like to shoot them, and I'd like to say one thing over here, because for us Indians, we always tend to feel that fair is beautiful.
Yes.
And I think 70% of India is still dark skinned. And I'm always looking for that real dark skinned girl with beautiful eyes, a good figure and a clear complexion. Even if she's working in the field somewhere, doesn't come from an economically forward background, I look for a girl like that. I'd love to shoot a person like that.
Nothing beats natural.
Yeah. I mean, that's India, man.
Correct.
And the face that we present of India is completely different from what is actually India.
Absolutely. So, you've heard it from Arvind Chenji himself. For those of you who wish to find out more about Arvind Chenji, you can feel free. I'll be sharing the link to his Instagram handle where you'll be able to follow him to find out more about this exciting project that's coming up. And for those of you who are still with us, I just want to say thank you so much for staying tuned, for being a part of this entire project. This is Jouvert Talks, Satish Raghu signing off. Before we do, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to follow us on all of the different social media handles that you see on your screen. Check us out to find out more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satish. That's brilliant.
Thank you.